And here we are. We are live. Hello, everybody. Everyone who is in the comments window already. Hello, Emma. I know you're there. Got the lovely Awana and Angela from the Moon Cycles fam up on the screen with me today. And yeah, we were just having a little post-Christmas catch up. It's certainly been fluctuating, shall we say. Oh, kinesiology live. She's here. That's Sarah in the comment box there. Hoping the comments stay up this time. Got Helen in the green room. So a few people here. Nice. Well done for making it through through that intensity. I was just saying to these guys actually that it's quite a positive full moon. There's like loads of juicy opportunity and up leveling from it. But I feel like earlier when I was tuning in that I don't know how many of you guys are British. I know a few of us are, and this is streamed from Great Britain, and we just very much brush it under the carpet kind of culture when it comes to emotions. So even though there's lots of stuff to learn within these emotional kind of whirlpools, it's quite challenging to actually sit with them because they just feel, for me, they feel very alien. And I think a lot has come up for me. Hello from Brighton. A lot has come up for me around feeling actually quite ashamed of even having any feelings. So I'm not actually allowed them, or possibly from being shut down for having feelings as a kid. It's probably quite a common thing, I would imagine. But yeah, there's been a lot of stirrings and a lot of things to look at. And here we are to explore it a little bit with the astrology. I'll bring the chart up in a minute. And I just wanted to also say that I'll do a couple of chart readings for people as well. And also a meditation for some inner child healing too. So so if the astrology stuff gets a little bit too much for you and it's too chatty, you can always come back and watch the recording. And anybody who's watching the recording, I hope you enjoy the session. Let's get stuck in. I'm going to pop you guys down into the green room. See you in a bit. And I'll pull the chart up. Lovely to have my family here. Here it is. Here is the chart for this full moon in Cancer. So it was actually exact in the UK about 12:30, like just after midnight today. So she's just starting to wane. So it's been quite ripe last night. Yesterday, I would say it was really quite intense. Yesterday would have felt like it was peaking. And this is in the UK time. So the time will change according to where you live in the world. Some people, it would have been on the 26th because it's so close to midnight there. So I understand you can't see my cursor when I'm talking about this chart. So if you look at the circle in the center, you'll see some numbers on the left hand side at the bottom of the central axis. There's number 1 and it goes round counterclockwise 2, 3, 4, 5 round to 12. So these are the houses. I'm going to talk about things. So if I say, the red fella in house 3, so you know where you're looking basically, because you can't see my cursor. But the houses are not so important in a transit chart as they are in a birth chart. So this is like a snapshot of the sky at the full moon. So in the 9th house at the top there, quite obviously the symbol for the moon. You can see her up there at 4 degrees 58 minutes. This will round that up to 5 degrees. So the moon is in Cancer, at she's in 5 degrees Cancer, and directly opposite, you can see a little circle with a dot in it. In That's the Sun in Capricorn. So at a full moon, these two are always opposing each other. So the light of the sun is directed at the moon and illuminating that energy. And the moon is actually the ruler of Cancer, so it's particularly strong when it's happening in its own sign like that. So there's a real need for a need for our feelings to be felt. We can't really avoid it during these times. Full moons tend to illuminate the subconscious. The moon rules our inner world and our unconscious and subconscious and our past and our feeling nature. So at any full moon, the sun is illuminating that aspect of ourselves. So on a Cancer full moon, it's very watery, and it's interesting. And Cancer is also about the family. It's also about the home and the family. So quite often, the full moon in Cancer will coincide with that Christmas period where we're being brought back to potentially our childhood home or our family, our upbringing. So there's a lot of nostalgia. There's a lot of opportunity for the inner child to get a little bit of a triggering over the Christmas period. So let me just have a quick look at my notes. Let's have a look what I want to talk about. So yeah, inner child healing is really something that has been on the cards. For some of us, it's going to be more apparent than others, and everybody who will have the full moon happening in different at different house in their chart. So it will be more or less impacting a particular area more. I think that that's a stupid question. Does the full moon in December? So when the sun is in Capricorn, which is from solstice, like 21st of December to the 21st of January, that will be between that window, you'll have a Cancer full moon. So the sun will need to be in Capricorn and the moon will be opposite in the polarized sign. So yeah, it's not a stupid question. It's something I just find it interesting. So it could happen, at the later degrees of Cancer, in which case it would be like further through January. But this is at nearly 5 degrees, so it's actually still in December, and quite close to Christmas. But yeah, not as Oana said, a very useful question and something to think about. So yeah, Cancer is definitely about our inner world and our inner child. So it's how we were nurtured, like it's how we nurture. It's Cancerians tend to feel quite intuitively. All of the water signs really will have have more a skill in the more sensory feeling side of life, rather than the logical intellectual side. So they will be more empathic, more sensitive, more intuitive. And potentially, if you have a lot of water in your chart, you could be quite moody, you could be quite open to into like feeling the room, be able to intuit what's other people are going through, like feel into their how things might fall for them. Whereas if you don't have any water in your chart, it's not that easy to be empathic. Like if you're all earth and air and you don't have much water going on, then these people find it very difficult to understand their feelings or to understand other people, how other people might feel as well. So this has been a very feely sort of moon. As I was saying though, when I started, there is some um, portals of opportunity, I would like to say, for this intensity of feeling that's come up. Like, it's not coming up for no reason. Everything. You're kind of it's like your compass, that your feeling body will be wanting you to look at something. So, especially if you can't quite let it go, what is it? What am I trying? What am I being taught through this persistent feeling or reaction to a situation? So why am I like, what is this trigger showing me about myself? What is it showing me about my path? What I need to heal? What I'm ready to heal as well. So I just wanted to look. So if we go around if you look at the little symbols that are in these houses, we've got the sun there at 4 degrees. And if we're moving towards the right, the next one along is Saturn, the red one in the fifth house is at 2 degrees of Pisces. And then the next one along that I want to look at is in the seventh house. It's Jupiter at 5 degrees of Taurus. Good evening, Rosemary. And then obviously the moon up there at 4 degrees of Cancer. So these are in quite a tight aspect. They're going one after the other in what is known as a sextile aspect. So the sun is working in harmony with Saturn. Saturn is working in harmony with the sun and Jupiter, and Jupiter is working in harmony with the moon. They're all kind of interlinked. So, what does this mean? This is like an opportunity for us, all of them kind of behaving and dancing together around this full moon is quite important. It's so if we start with Jupiter in the seventh house, Jupiter is the planet which provides opportunity and expansion and luck and growth. It's the big planet that expands things. And it's actually at the moment slowing right down and becoming really powerful before it goes direct. It's currently retrograde, slowing down to stationary. So as it slows down, it becomes more intense, more powerful, and then it will turn and start moving direct again and then start to speed up. So at this point, what Jupiter is doing is it's like digging for gold really within. Like, this is offering you an opportunity to really understand your own worth. Maybe even get your head around some money stuff, so there might be some healing around some money stuff, because Taurus rules that area of life: money, worth, value, senses as well, our bodies. Maybe this connection with the Cancer full moon as well will be, and the Jupiter energy will be helping us to really uh, see and feel exactly what our body is asking for. I don't know about you, but I mean, I think I say it every year, but I eat all this stuff and I drink all this stuff over Christmas, and it gets earlier every year. And then I end up with like some stomach cramps and stuff, because my body doesn't really want that much sugar and like gluten or cake or whatever. It just starts to kind of really tell me after a few days of it, or a few weeks of it, that no, this isn't right. So you could find that you really get some insight into like your gut or your body is speaking to you quite directly. So, and also, like I said, there's Jupiter's been kind of going into the underworld of Taurus. So we have been really examining our uh, our sense of self-worth, our sense of value as well. So if there are any issues going on in that area, then they've been kind of getting scooped around, and they might be getting brought to your attention as well. So with that in mind, you've also got Saturn doing some of the hard work in Pisces. So there's Saturn is like the hard task master of the planets. It's the teacher planet. It's the planet that gives us a sense of discipline and boundaries. So it's like the opposite of Jupiter. Jupiter that just goes more, 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 big, big, big. Let's expand and make it like abundant. Needs Saturn to hold it in so that you can really create and build something tangible. So Saturn restricts, it controls, it disciplines, and it gets real about stuff. So, it's quite a nice combination of energy to work with. So you've got two great powers at play that will allow you to really apply Saturn in Pisces, apply some compassion to yourself and others as well. I feel like any sort of insight that you may have got from the full moon, any feelings, any triggers that may have come up for you over this quite emotional time, that Saturn energy may be calling you or helping you to be quite realistic about how it, like whether it's just connected to a stream of remembered responses to certain things, and whether actually you've kind of embellished the story a little bit, and maybe the truth and the fact that everyone else has their story as well might be easier to rationalize as well. So this is offering some stability to it, and maybe a little bit of anchoring around the truth behind these emotional reactions. So the last one, yes, the last one in that little four planet lineup of sextiles is the Sun in Capricorn. So Capricorn is our ambition, it's our sense of security, it's the authorities, the structures that are in place. So there's that is in the mix as well. So potentially, your feelings are your emotional guidance system. So if something is feeling restrictive in some way, if it's not feeling like if it's feeling like a bit of a block on your path as opposed to moving in the same direction as you, then this mixture of energies will be helping you to be a little bit more disciplined with your boundaries, and respond from your own personal integrity around how much you want to actually cave into these feelings and where you want them to take you. Do you want to create like a whole bunch of drama, or do you want to actually say, I'm not going to, I'm not just not going to play with this. I know my path. I know where I want to put my roots down. I know where I want to climb, what area of I want to climb, and actually I'm not interested in playing those games anymore. So so I feel quite positive. Next to the Sun, you can see that there's two planets quite close to them right there. They're in a different sign. You can just above the planets and their numbers, their degrees, you can see that they're both in Sagittarius, and that is the first one on the left is Mars at 23 degrees Sagittarius, and the purple guy at 25 degrees is 25 degrees Sagittarius is Mercury, and it's going retrograde. So it started going retrograde in Capricorn, and now it's moved back into Sagittarius, and it's just meeting up with Mars there. So this could actually create a little bit of so it's quite sharp, this if Mercury was direct, it may create a few sparks in communication, the way I'm, this could still totally happen if you're like less conscious as well. People could just go and be quite impulsive with their words. Sagittarius is mutable fire as well. It's quite fast. So it could be out your mouth before you've even thought about how it might land. That's totally possible with that combination of energy. But also, I kind of feel like Mercury retrograde and Mars being so direct and on a mission, it's like this sort of mission to get to the truth and to get like a sort of sharper look at the truth behind your the way your mind is working with what's going on. So Mercury retrogrades, yes, they mess around with the trains and computers and stuff like that as well. But they also get, when they go retrograde, give us an opportunity to really look at our inner dialect and in Sagittarius is the great truth seeker. So there's an opportunity, there's a kind of sharpness I'm feeling around that combination to be able to quite acutely discern what's going on, really, what really is going on with that emotional reaction. Like, what are you trying, what are you being shown, what is your subconscious wanting you to heal and to move away from, and what isn't working anymore in that capacity of the mind. So Mercury retrograde is also creating a bit of a tense aspect to Neptune in the 6th house at 25 degrees of Pisces. So this is also like a very acute sensitivity. Like, this is like being able to really harness your intuition. On a negative, if on a negative vibration, this could also be somebody going into like you could fall into a victim trap with that sort of tension, or you could use the tension to really confront yourself and apply some of that spiritual forgiveness. Really assess the situation, learn from it, learn a bit more about your evolutionary state and what you're here to do. Because, we've all got karma, we've all got stuff that we're working on, we've all got areas of our lives that are that push us to confront ourselves, to face ourselves somehow. So this aspect, this inward aspect of Mercury, this turning in to ourselves to look for the truth, combined with Neptune's like psychic ability and sensitivity, could open up some great kind of portals for expanding in our consciousness and healing as well. So I do really feel like this is a very healing sort of moon. What's been going on in the old comment box here? Hello, Scott. Nice to see you. Keyboard, or not see you, but have you here. Yes. Yeah. Do you get that every year, Sarah, with the body overindulgence? Yeah, it's just a killer. Do you do in-person events? We do them more in the summer. We do some outdoor sort of stuff in the summer. In the winter, we're kind of playing with this technology. This is kind of new to do this YouTube lives. It means that people can catch up later if they missed it and stuff, and it's up there for everyone to use. So, but yeah, we do some more when the weather changes. Okay, I'm going to just read a couple of charts for the Moon Cycles members. So I do free charts just to have a little look at how the full moon is impacting particular person, so that you can start to learn a little bit about how it might be different from you. So there is this overall theme of the full moon, but then there's also it will impact everybody slightly differently depending on their chart. So I'm going to bring up Helen's chart first. Helen, I know you're there, and Helen is finding that Mercury is telling me to be quiet and listen to what comes back. Perfect. Yeah. So this is Helen's birth chart. Thank you, Helen, for sharing your birth chart. And so you can see fifth house that Helen already, she has a moon in Cancer. So Helen has that kind of natural Cancerian quality of being a nurturer, and gets, I would say, a lot of comfort from caring for people. A place in the fifth house, I would say, particularly children, although she's probably not feeling that like necessarily straight after Christmas. Get them back to school. No. So Helen, your moon is at 2 degrees of Cancer, your natal moon, and the full moon, let's say it's happening at 5 degrees. So it's only just slipped into the sixth house for you, but it will be impacting your personal moon. So it's only a couple of degrees away. So you will be feeling quite a lot, I would say, around this time. Heightened senses for sure, and maybe even that kind of need to crawl into your shell once or twice. The full moon, and so if it's just slipped into the sixth house, though, and that means the sun is up there in the 12th house, this is the axis of service. So this is illuminating the service axis in your chart. So it's kind of showing you a little bit about how you give, how you care, selflessness, like shining some light on some aspects of selflessness. I did really want to talk about your natal Pluto a little bit as well, Helen, because in the system of astrology that I work with and study, Pluto is really important because it's where it's about our evolutionary intention in this lifetime. So it moves like generationally, like many people that our sort of age are. Pluto in Libra, which means that we have themes of relationships, like, and partnerships that will get us into these kind of ruts where we need to confront ourselves a little bit. Eighth house, this is actually the same position for me, something I've really been exploring over this full moon, is this sense of Pluto in the eighth house. Libra eighth house could look a little bit like extremes of dominance or subservience in relationships as well. So power and powerlessness. So something to see, like whether you when you get into like relationship dynamics and things get a bit like intense, and like especially with full on Cancerian full moons, it can put a lot of pressure, create this pressure. This pressure is basically calling you to evolve and to learn a bit about yourself, where you maybe have natural habits of feeling powerless or overpowering in relationships, and just coming back to yourself and learning a bit about yourself from it. So you're not, you're already on your path. So you're able to look at the situation for what it is. It's karmic evolution, and yeah, accept that you have the consciousness and the potential to change those patterns if they are coming up for you at this time. I'm talking about it because it is creating like a T square to the full moon. So it's like a little portal of learning, I would say, to this full moon, having a Pluto at 8 degrees there. It's a few degrees out, but yeah. And interestingly, you also have like Mars and Mercury together. They're in Scorpio there, but they are in your birth chart side by side. Was there something else I was going to say about your chart? Oh yeah, I just felt like also your natal Jupiter is being activated at this time. And I would say that yeah, sorry, wrong person. Yes, so your natal Jupiter is kind of close to Saturn. And so obviously in amongst all of that activity that we were talking about with the full moon, there is this abundance of resources, spiritual resources that you have available to you to help you on your mission into sharing and teaching at a higher level of education. So yeah, more truth and yeah, truth orientated and spiritual truths. That's your North Node up there with working alongside Neptune. So yeah, as I know Helen, I know she's on her path. Helen, feel free to ask me anything afterwards if any of that didn't make sense or whatever. What has Pam? Could you please do mine? I just do free on every video, because otherwise we'd be here all night. But if you would like to join the community and you can send me your details, then I can make your chart and bring it up on the next call, new moon or something. But yeah, lovely to have you here, and hopefully you can start to read your own at some point by watching enough of these sort of videos. Jazz and Pam, yeah, welcome to the call. So Emma, hey Emma, lovely to have you in the community. Emma found us through this channel as well. It's lovely to have you here, Emma. And let's find that moon in your chart. Where are we now? Okay, so coming round to the 5th house. So the full moon is happening in your 5th house, quite close to your natal Jupiter. It is the 5th house is the house of play, creativity, romance, children, gambling, bit of risk there. So there's definitely it will be, that means the sun will be in the 11th house. So this is highlighting that access of friendship, social play, connections. So there may be some stuff happening for you around group dynamics, and also potentially, partnership stuff as well. So the full moon is also like, I always think of it like a little bit of a tug of war too. It's like, your light, your like go and your vitality of the sun, and the inward sort of wanting to cocoon and go in and be with yourself. They're kind of at battle a little bit there. So it's finding a balance, I think, finding the right sort of balance. And it is about harmonizing. Every full moon is about harmonizing. So maybe there's a little bit of a spotlight around friendships and lovers, or friendships and children, duties, this sort of thing, where you have to find some sort of nice balance for yourself, where you feel like you're feeding all aspects of your life. I was also looking down at your natal Chiron, which is at 1 degree of Taurus in the 3rd house. So Jupiter moving into stationing, like I was saying about Jupiter getting quite potent as it slows down and stations to go direct at like 4 degrees, 5 degrees, is quite close to your natal Chiron. So any sort of I feel like it's activating some healing around your own voice and the value of your what you've got to say and what you've got to share. So there could be some great like healing opportunities over the next kind of month through this, like for the rest of this cycle, I would say as well, and moving forwards too, to just kind of help you see a bit about where you may have like I would say on an inner child level as well, where you may have felt a bit shut down in your voice. Maybe you haven't there's something may have happened, some trauma around being heard. I'm saying that because it's in the third house, and that's like to do with communication, and it's early school sort of time, third house. So there may have been something that was planted then that made you think that actually what you've got to say isn't of value, but it is. And actually there's like an opening for you to heal that a little bit here. So something around your voice. And so you've also got the sun directly really on your natal Mercury, and your natal Mercury is actually retrograde, so it's retrograde in your chart. So actually you're sort of your mind and does do a lot of that, like looking at itself anyway. So I would maybe have a little meditation over this period as well, around how much you trust your mind as well, like and whether there's something for healing there too, because it's a great gift. And you've got it there in Capricorn in the 11th house, so it's quite a nice gift to be able to bring to group dynamics as well. Is this more self-aware? Yeah, a more self-aware mind. So yeah, I would imagine the inner child like has been getting a little bit of a poke at this time because of that Chiron getting highlighted, and you may feel like potentially you're through the worst of that now, and any little residue that still kind of comes back to you is stuff that you can have a good opportunity to heal. Thank you so much for sharing your chart. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Capricorn, Mercury going retrograde in your chart, you have like one, let's not use that one, two, three, four planets retrograde in your chart. So actually looking at yourself should be quite easy, I would say. Like, and the older you get, the easier it is to kind of really know yourself quite well when you've got a little bit more inner sort of motion going on. Cool. Right, let's just swap over to Angela. She's my third chart. Thank you, Angela, for sharing your chart. Very interesting talking to Angela before the call, actually, because it just made me smile, because I had written down Angela's Cancer is in the 7th house here. It's kind of feels a bit lost there, but the 5-degree point of Cancer will be in the 7th house. So the moon will be in the 7th and the sun will be in the 1st house. So this is really highlighting the axis of self and other, right? So and they are they are also creating this kind of grand square to Angela's nodes. So if you're not sure, don't know what the nodes are, that's in the 9th house at the top there at 10 degrees. It looks like a little stethoscope. And then the third house, same fella turned up the other way. This is your karmic direction. So they are the ecliptical points of the moon. They move through a sign about every 18 years. And in a personal birth chart, they display the karmic direction that your intent for this lifetime as well. So Pluto is all about your past lives, what you've been doing, what the themes are that you've been working on to evolve. The moon's nodes are a little bit more precise in their same sort of nature, leaving Libra behind. That's the south node in the ninth house, and moving towards independence, Aries, in the third house. So this full moon, like happening in the seventh and first house axis, is a very similar sort of vibration to Aries and Libra, and it's impacting your nodal direction. So there may be this sort of surge of independence. And Angela was saying, I just decided not to go to Christmas. I decided to just do my own thing. I thought, perfect, it's worked really well for her. Having that catalyst of like just actually making a decision and not feeling the pressure and the duress of relationships, but actually making a decision for yourself. The other thing I wanted to say about the seventh first house axis as well for you, Angela, is to look at the world the world is your reflection, like it's reflecting you back to yourself. So the more work you do on yourself, the more you change, grow, and evolve. The people that don't change and grow and evolve with you start to fall away a bit. Like you don't take, if you want to expand, you don't necessarily take everyone with you all the time in your friendship groups. So what you may be noticing highlighted on this full moon is a change. If you've been changing yourself, which I know you have, is a change in who you are attracting, and who is not who's kind of feeling more distant, who's pulling away, and how and the new people that you've got around you. So owning your gifts, owning your uniqueness as well. I think it's all quite. I love a bit of shadow work. I really like looking at the things that are a bit difficult, or the things that I deem dark in myself. But actually, I find the law of reflection, actually acknowledging the people I think are amazing around me as they're amazing, which means they must be reflecting me, right? So there must be a bit of that, whatever I see as amazing in them, as a quality of mine somewhere in there as well. So yeah, just a little bit on reflection there. So Angela, congratulations, bang on, that's great. Yeah. And so we really think we're through the other side of the quite wavy stuff. But yeah, it's important to just let things go, let them move as well. So that's probably enough astrology chat. I was wondering if anybody would like to do a meditation for some inner child healing. It's just breath and mudra, taken from Kundalini yoga. So let me get myself into position. Obviously, if you are not feeling to sit and do a meditation for it's gonna good, Scott's in, so yes, Angela's in, nice one. So I thought we would actually set an intention to for this particular meditation as well, to send it to our inner child. So if you just want to bring your hands into prayer pose for a moment in front of your heart center, and just close down your eyes. And just take a couple of nice deep breaths. Turn yourself inward a little bit. I just want you to just tune in and see if there are any big feelings that have been coming up for you lately over this full moon. If there's anything that you feel like, oh, I've been here before with this one. Maybe it's being excluded, feeling ridiculed, or feeling some levels of shame, whatever it is. If there's one in particular or more, I just want you to find that. Don't have to go back into it. Just acknowledge it, that's an aspect of your wounded inner child that we're just going to send a bit of love to now. And you're going to touch your fingertips of your index finger and your thumb tips together to make a little triangle. This screen really confuses me which way I'm pointed. So yeah, it's a little triangle, and it's just position. You're just going to hold it in position in front of your heart center. Your eyes are going to be closed and you're going to breathe consciously. So it's not an automatic breath. It's really watching your breath as it travels in, feeling the new energy, this new energy to kind of heal you coming into through the triangle into your heart center. And then as you exhale, just getting rid of any sort of heaviness, any weaknesses, any illness, any disease out through the triangle. So you're just concentrating on your breath. I'm going to put some music on just so that we're if you might hear my neighbor, I just heard my neighbor's music. I don't know if it's coming through. We're going to do this for about 10 minutes, okay? So just feeling the new energy coming in on the inhale and letting go on the exhale. Really conscious breathing. When the music ends, then we'll do something just to pump it all out and purify. Just keep your eyes closed. And stay really contained. Okay, now staying contained, I want you to interlace your fingers and pop your hands behind your neck with your hands interlaced. Make an O out of your mouth and breathe really quickly through this O'd mouth like this. Just for 1 minute, okay? Don't worry if you spit everywhere. We're just going to do 20 more seconds. Keep going. And now inhale fully and lock the breath in. Pull your elbows back with your breath held in. Exhale and bring your hands straight up and stretch your hands straight up with your hands interlaced. And inhale fully again. Hold the breath in and stretch them armpits, releasing all of the poison, the toxins. Stretch a little bit more. And exhale and bring your arms down. And just give yourself a little bit of a shake. All right, so bring your hands back into prayer pose now and just have a little inner intention once more for this full moon. And just acknowledge yourself. Acknowledge yourself for having feelings. Forgive yourself for having feelings. Acknowledge that your inner child has been heard and has received some healing. And just know that the truth of your being rests just there underneath your thumbs. Take a nice deep inhale in. And a full exhale out. And that concludes our session for today. I'm just going to bring my mates up onto the stage. So Anna, Angela. Thank you so much, Angela, for sharing your chart. Thank you, Anna, for being there.
Thank you. That was lovely.
Yeah, I feel like a lightness in my chest actually from doing that. Yeah.
My shoulders feel better.
Oh, good. We've got rid of some of that duty and responsibility.
Yeah.
Of this season. Thank you everyone in the comment box for sharing.
Thank
And if you would like to join our Telegram community that has some astro stuff, thanks Sarah, shared in there. We share astro insights and other sort of spiritual things, and then you can also give me your chart details. However you found us, by all means send me a direct message. I can make your chart for you quite easily, and you'll be more than welcome to have it shared on the screen next time if you wish. All right, everybody, thanks so much. Thank you, Rosemary. Scott, great to have you here. Lovely to have your energy back in the Moon Cycles place. And when we have some live stuff going on, you can follow us on here. You can follow us on Meetup and Eventbrite, and everything will be shared as and when it is created. Thank you, everyone. Blessed be.
Thank you. Blessed be.
Bye, Bianca. Bye, Mindset Matters. See you soon.